Today we're going to watch Dark Planet. At the beginning of the movie, a narrating voice tells us that it is the year 2157 and humans have completely controlled Earth, ending all wars. Such a system has been created where every disease in the world can be eliminated with a single tablet. Now that humans have taken control of Earth, they have decided to take a step forward to find another planet like Earth and learn about the extraterrestrial life there. We now see a boy named Max who goes in search of such a planet with his spaceship. But as soon as he enters deep space, an asteroid collides with his spaceship, forcing Max to land on the nearest planet to save his life. Upon landing on the planet, Max's spaceship is destroyed by an explosion as soon as he exits it, completely severing his contact with Earth. He cannot return to Earth, nor can he contact anyone for help. Faced with this, Max is very worried about what to do now in this completely new place. After regaining his composure, he decides to explore the planet to find some communication system to call for help from Earth. Fortunately, the planet's environment is exactly like Earth's, allowing Max to breathe without difficulty. As Max moves forward, he encounters a soldier named Zeph who lives on the planet. Since Max does not understand Zeph's language, he uses a translating device to communicate. Zeph then hands Max over to the authorities, who put a helmet on Max's head to view all his memories on a screen, trying to determine who he is and where he came from. The soldiers take Max to the capital city, where he sees common people fighting for food and drinks. The entire environment suggests that the people are fighting for freedom. As Max continues, he notices a tower that the people believe protects them from enemies. Suddenly, the tower explodes, causing devastation. Many people are killed, but Max, who was in a tank with a soldier named James, survives. Max manages to save both of them and escape. James tells Max that their enemies were responsible for destroying the tower, and they don't know what the enemy's next step will be. Max is surprised that the fight for control continues even here. Meanwhile, Nomad, the head of the Special Research Department, instructs his companion Frank to find Max immediately, suspecting him of being a spy. Frank agrees and begins searching for Max. We also see a man named David who instructs his companion to gather as much information as possible about Max. As Frank is taking Max to Nomad, he has a seizure, causing their car to crash. Taking advantage of the ensuing chaos, Max escapes and starts exploring the city. He ends up in a club where he meets a girl named Rada, who is actually James's sister. They talk, and Max tells her about himself. However, an argument arises with another man. Though the man does nothing to Max at that moment, he later brings his goons outside the club, intending to kill Max, but Max kills them all very easily. Seeing his bravery, Rada brings him to her house, and James arrives there as well. Max asks them about the planet, and they explain that they are only allowed to gather information about this planet and no other place. The city they live in is run by an authority led by a man named Tom, who has set up towers throughout the city for protection. However, the authorities of the rest of the city want everyone to work together, but their city resists this idea. Consequently, the other cities have become their enemies and frequently attack them, trying to destroy them completely. Max is surprised to learn this. James begins training Max as a soldier so he can protect himself from the enemies. Meanwhile, Rada and Max gradually start liking each other. On the captain's orders, the soldiers, including Max and James, embark on a mission to capture some rebels suspected of aiding the enemies in destroying the tower. When Max encounters the rebels, he sees that they are normal people who just want to live peacefully with their families. He wonders how these people could be rebels. Despite his doubts, the rebels are captured and handed over to the authority, where they are tortured and asked if they helped the enemy destroy the tower. Despite the torture, the rebels deny any involvement. Max confides in James, expressing his belief that the rebels are not bad people, but ordinary individuals being unjustly tortured. He vows to save them from the authorities, regardless of the consequences. James tries to dissuade him, but Max remains resolute. When the captain orders Max to kill all the rebels, Max goes to the designated place but secretly helps the rebels escape into the jungle. When the captain discovers this, he is furious. Max explains that the rebels are innocent people being tortured and that he cannot kill them. In response, the captain shoots Max. James, frightened by the events, tries to help Max, but the captain forcibly removes him from the scene. Later, Max regains consciousness at the rebels' base, where they have saved and treated him. But what happens next? The people reveal the truth about the authorities to Max. They explain that the authorities have taken control of the entire city's population. The tower, which is believed to protect the city from enemies, actually emits radiation that puts everyone under the authorities' control. Once a person is under the influence of this radiation, they become a puppet of the authorities, obeying all commands without question. However, some individuals are immune to the radiation. When the radiation wave passes over them, they only experience seizure attacks. These attacks alert the authorities that the radiation isn't affecting these people, so they label them as rebels and order their execution to prevent any uprising against their control. It seems that Max possesses this immunity, which is why the radiation hasn't affected him. Upon hearing this, Max is even more shocked and decides to expose the authorities' truth to the people. He rallies everyone and declares, "We should blow up all the towers so that everyone is free from the authorities' control." Everyone agrees. Max leads his team to a tower and starts attacking the soldiers there. The soldiers retaliate, and many of Max's companions are killed. Despite this, Max successfully plants a bomb and destroys the tower, but the heavy losses sadden him. Max then goes to the jail, where he is surprised and happy to find James. Max explains the truth about the tower, but James struggles to believe that the authorities could be so manipulative, given that he has spent his entire life under their control. Suddenly, soldiers arrive to capture them, having learned that Max knows the truth. Max, James, Rada, and the rest of their group try to fight back, but are overwhelmed by the sheer number of soldiers. They are captured and imprisoned, where Max finds more of his companions, including Zeph, who was also jailed for being a rebel. Max tells everyone that they need to escape the jail to destroy the remaining towers and free the people from the authorities' control. Everyone agrees to this plan. Meanwhile, Nomad visits David and says, "I heard you are looking for a person named Max. If he is with you, hand him over to me. I need to inform our boss, Tom, about him." David, hiding his true identity as a rebel, denies knowing Max and then suffers a seizure attack, revealing his immunity to the radiation. On the other hand, Max quietly escapes from jail with Zeph and another prisoner. They set out to destroy the tower. However, after traveling a short distance, they are attacked by robots, forcing them to hide until the robots pass by. Meanwhile, David discovers that Max, like the rebels, is immune to the radiation. He immediately orders his accomplice to find Max and bring him back alive, warning him to keep this mission a secret or face severe consequences. Max suggests to Zeph and the other man that they should destroy the authority center, which controls all the towers and supplies them with power. This would shut down all the towers simultaneously. However, Zeph argues that it is impossible since the towers are designed in a highly sophisticated way, and no one knows how they operate or where they get their power from. This leaves Max worried about their next steps. Zeph mentions that there are many people in the south who are also immune to radiation, but they have no connection with their city and are unlikely to help. Just then, an automated tank attacks them, but Max bravely manages to enter the tank and deactivate its automatic control system. He then heads to the city border alone in the tank, intending to go south and convince those people to join his cause. As Max crosses the border, soldiers stop him, and among them is James. Max pulls James into the tank and breaks through all the barricades, escaping the border. During their journey, Max tries to convince James that the authority is indeed controlling everyone with radiation. James starts to believe him as he feels the radiation's effects lessen after crossing the border. Angry at the deception, James decides to join Max in fighting against the authority. Max explains his plan to James. They will go south and seek help to destroy all the towers. James agrees to help. The movie ends with this scene, suggesting that the story will continue in a second part. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please like it, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you in the next movie.